Let us talk for a moment on the causes of guilt. Why does guilt actually even exist? Especially for those who are born again, those who are believers. I believe even the guilt itself is a protective mechanism for the born again believer. Because if we don't have any guilt at all, it's like someone who has a certain kind of disease where they no longer have a sense of feeling and they can't feel anything. And so they could be put their hand on a hot stove and not recognize that they are even burning. And that's why I believe guilt do exist, but it can get to a point where it will actually begin to tear away at you if you allow it also. So what are the causes of guilt? And who are caught up in the trap of guilt? There are those who have had or are having extramarital affairs. They're having affairs and they have a sense of guilt. They know that it's not right. They know that they are sinning against God. But they're caught up in it. Because they felt they were in a loveless relationship, marriage. And then someone comes along who gives them attention, begin to speak to them in a different manner, and a spark is ignited. And they become what one might call in this world lovers. And that person who does that and is a Christian, there's a guilt that eats on the inside of them. Because they look at their life, they know that they're sinning against God, and sometimes they make up excuses to go forward and to continue to do what they're doing. But something on the inside of them tells them that this is wrong because they know the Word, and the Word speaks deep on the inside of their heart. There are those who allow guilt then to build up, and some who make up their minds that they're going to indulge in this sin regardless of knowing that they're sinning against God. They have made up their mind that they have a need for this, that it is giving them more pleasure than any pain that could ever be delivered into their lives. And this is simply not the truth. Because the pain that comes from this type of lifestyle is very painful. Not only for the person who is part of that affair, but the people who are related to this particular individual. What are some other things that we can think of? What about Christians who indulge in too much drink, in alcohol, and find themselves on the verge of becoming a drunkard? How about Christians who overeat, constantly telling themselves, I don't need to eat this, I don't need to eat that, but yet at the same time can't seem to get over overeating all the time. They're filled with guilt on the inside. How about believers who have pornography binges, XXX movies and nudity magazines that they allow in their lives, and they have allowed that in their lives before when they were in the world, and all of a sudden this thing comes back flooding upon them. They are walking today in a sense of guilt, as though that lust had never left them. There are those who have secret affairs, those who have problems with prescription drugs that they're taking and they're overtaking them. There are those who walk in homosexuality, bestiality, secret affairs, and many other human behavior. But dearly beloved, I say to you today that those are the causes of guilt. And they will cause you to feel guilty. But I want you to know that that is a good thing that you feel some guilt. Because if you ever get to the point where you justify sin and you can walk in it without any problem whatsoever, That's when you need to check yourself out to even know if you are a believer at all. You see, the sinner can indulge in any and all of these sins, not have a sense of guilt whatsoever. But it is not so for the true child of God. If you are a true child of God, I want you to know today that you are going to walk under guilt as long as you indulge in that which is against the will of the Father. But I say to you today, if you can get your mind off of your guilt and put your mind on the faith that is to be placed in the finished works of Christ, He will deliver you. And I want you to know something today. Deliverance is a process. It's a constant thing. For each and every day, we are being delivered. Yes, there are causes for guilt, and guilt isn't such a bad thing. But when we allow it to take root in our lives and control our lives, then, dearly beloved, it is because our faith has been attacked and is now no longer where it should be. But if you today trust in the Lord, I know in the name of Jesus Christ that our Father will deliver you from this type of guilt and even over the sin that is so easily besetting your life today. God bless you and God keep you this day.